Paige, who are you when you're not on stage?
Well, it's who I am most of the time because I'm usually not on stage. I have a couple of businesses that I juggle. I am a co-owner of a 78-year-old cricket farm.
A cricket farm.
Yes, in South
Oh
Georgia.
my goodness.
Wild.
I feel like we need to add some cricket noises to
Yeah,
that.
please. Cue the crickets. I am a certified Christian life coach, and recently, just this year, I got my certification as a trauma-informed grief coach. And I also am a headshot photographer with a studio in Buford. So
All the things. She's
Yeah.
basically a boss, babe.
She is. Yeah.
I'll take it.
You're in good company, Lil.
For sure. For sure.
Hey there, it is so good to see you. If you're listening, we're glad you're here too. I am so thrilled about our guest, someone who is a friend to ESP, a literal crowned queen, and someone who knows a thing or two about resilience. You may know her as Mrs. America, but to us, she is Paige Ewing. Paige, thanks so much for being here. So let's just kick things off. Will you give us an introduction of who are you when you're not on stage?
Well, it's who I am most of the time because I'm usually not on stage. I am a wife to my husband, Michael. We've been married for 20 years now. And I'm a mom to two girls, Avery and Charlotte. They are a junior and a seventh grader at Buford City School System. I have a couple of businesses that I juggle. It's a little absurd how that none of them literally fit together at all, but I'll share them with you. I am a co-owner of a 78-year-old cricket farm.
A cricket farm.
Yes, in
Oh
South Georgia.
my goodness.
Wild.
I feel like we need to add some cricket noises to
Yeah,
that.
cue the crickets. So my sister and I inherited our family business. It's Armstrong's Cricket Farm after my dad had passed away. And so we are co-owners of that together. I am a certified Christian life coach. And recently, just this year, I got my certification as a trauma-informed grief coach. And I also am a headshot photographer with a studio in Buford. So
All the things. She's
Yeah.
basically a boss, babe.
She is. Yeah.
I'll take it.
You're in good company, Lil.
For sure. For sure. So, how did your journey into pageantry begin, and why did you decide to take this path?
When I was about 11 years old, I grew up in Louisiana, and there was a scholarship program called Preteen America, Preteen Louisiana, and I was a competitive dancer, and so I thought this would be fun to be able to go and compete and win some scholarship money if I were to win and showcase my talent. And then I just wanted to do the ones that were important to me. I wasn't what we call crown chasers, where you just go from pageant to pageant to pageant. I did ones that aligned with who I was, honored a program or a cause that I supported. And, I did my high school pageant. I did my local Georgia Sweet Onion pageant.
Oh, the sweet onion.
Yeah, so did all those. And then when I was
South
18,
Georgia.
I went to Miss Georgia, and
Okay.
I competed there. And that was kind of the end of it. But the reason why I came back is because my two daughters, Avery and Charlotte, about 6 years ago, they expressed interest in wanting to do pageants as well. And so I got welcomed back into that world. But that's how I got started in
Okay.
pageantry.
Well, Paige, I wonder, like, as a believer, as you stand on stage from a pageant perspective, how do you embody Christ up there on the stage?
Yeah.
It is who you are and it comes out of you. But what decisions are you making behind the stage that then help you to embody
Absolutely.
his presence on stage?
I love that question because it starts with the heart and it starts with the mind and having that right mindset. So for me, when I'm physically walking on stage, let's say in an evening gown, and I'm thinking about all the steps and the poses, I know when I'm going out there, I'm asking God, I need them to see you. Let them see you. Let them see your light coming from me. And I literally imagine just this golden light, right? Like coming from my heart center, and my smile and my eyes. And I'm imagining I am carrying like the flame of God on stage. And I'm praying that the judges and the audience be able to see that more than they see me.
Yes.
In my smile and the gown, that they feel something different when I'm in the room.
Love that. I love that. People sometimes still ask me, like, do you get nervous when you public speak? And I'm like, every time. And the minute I don't get nervous, I'll get worried because that means I'm more concerned about my abilities and less concerned about the ability that God is giving me when I'm on stage. And it's almost as if when I'm walking on this up the stairs, it's like a lot of that just kind of melts away because then that's where God kind of takes over. And most of the time, I can't even remember sometimes what I've said because he takes over, and that is a really beautiful prayer. And I think what's so fascinating is that you and your daughters are experiencing this together, and it's so bonding. I can only imagine they're going to look back on their childhood and have these moments with you. And I'm curious, in the pageant world, one who's not in the pageant world may think it's about poise and it's about presentation and it's about what you see. What have you found like underneath that, experiencing it as a mom? How have the abilities of your girls had the opportunity to shine on stage?
For my husband and I, anytime we wanted to put our child into something, is what are they going to learn from it? How are they going to grow from it? How are they going to develop character from it? And that's the reason why I put them in pageants. And my girls started at a young age, and I tell them, yeah, of course they're sad when they're young because they're immature and they don't see the bigger picture. But what we've learned over time and what they've gained is a skill set of how to lose gracefully.
That's a skill that every kid, and adult.
Not every child, you're not going to make every team. You're not going to get invited into every sleepover. You're not going to maybe make the sorority or get that job. Whatever it is, there's going to be a no, multiple no's in your life. And for them to learn how to lose gracefully in a safe space where they are surrounded by everyone who loves them, because every girl who steps off the stage, only one person's going to walk away with a crown, but every girl who steps off the stage is greeted by a face who is there to support them and to love them and to say, it's okay. It's okay. You can be bummed, but you know what? We are still here. We're walking alongside you in this. And then at the end of the day, even at this level of Mrs. America or whatever, it's still just a pageant.
Right.
What are you taking away from it?
Right.
What did you give to it? How did you interact with the people that were there during that time? And that's what I want them to learn through pageantry.
So good. I often say, like, it's the goodness on the other side.
Yeah.
And I would imagine it can be gritty business, the pageantry world. But there's some goodness on the other side, and whether it's interview skills or learning how to lose gracefully, that's so good. And I feel like what's been so interesting learning about you, Paige, is you focus your own experiences and some things that you've walked through. I just see this like parallel of how you're using your life experiences to activate the abilities inside of you and then to give. And I've been fascinated by this Japanese practice, which is when a bowl breaks, typically, we throw the bowl away or the cup away, right? Well, in Japan, it's repaired with lacquer and mixed with gold. And this premise is that the, cracks don't disappear. They actually become a part of the art piece and it becomes more valuable. And when reading about you and learning a little bit more about you, you've experienced tremendous loss, and then you've taken that loss and put some gold veins around it. So you have lost 8 family members in 8 years.
I have.
Tell us a little bit more about that and then how it led you to becoming a grief counselor.
I love that you bring up the Japanese art because I resonated with that many years ago as well. I think it's called kintsugi.
Kintsugi, that's exactly.
Art. About a month and a half ago, I traveled down to Eatonton, Georgia to visit with warrior moms. And it was a weekend retreat for mothers who have lost children. And I read them a poem called The Kintsugi Mother. And I appreciate you sharing that with me because I have lost both of my parents, my brother, all of my grandparents, first cousins, and, the list can go on. But that time frame in which it happened, year after year after year, my life completely got turned upside down. It started with my grandfather who passed away at the age of, I think he was 90, and it was an honor to be able to, celebrate his life. But then a year later, it was my own father, and he, he's like the man, he's solid, like, he's not a weak person. He's the personality that brings the energy into the room. He's the one that you want to be around and talk to. And he got sick. And once we found out that he had cancer, it was 7 weeks until he had passed. So for me, it happened really quickly. We tried to help let's go do chemo, let's go to the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, but nothing was going to change the course, of the next 7 weeks. And so that was my very first experience with true grief.
Yes.
True grief, and how it affected me mentally, physically, emotionally, physiologically, my nervous system. All of it just got jacked up. And at the time, my daughters were 7 and 3, and trying to be a mother to young children. And I was a stay-at-home mom, had a photography business that worked with my schedule, but just changing my life completely because we also inherited the business, the cricket farm at that time.
So not only did you lose your dad, but then it's like, oh, and here's his entire business for you to run.
Here's his entire estate, because you are now the executor of his estate and his business, and you don't know anything about anything.
About crickets.
Or
running a business.
So thankfully, my sister, along with amazing employees at the cricket farm who have been there for decades, our great CPA who ran, they were the village. They came in, like steel magnolias, when the women just swoop in when there's a loss and hold you together. We had a village, and I'm so grateful for community, and I harp on community all the time. And so as that happened, the next year we lost my 14-year-old cousin, and then my brother passed away at the age of 33. My cousin after that. The list goes on. It sounds like a sob story. It felt,
like that.
kind of sad.
Yeah.
I lost the last 2 grandparents that I had living, and then in 2022, the year started, and I was talking to God with open hands, like, I surrender. Whatever it is that you want me to do, I'll give it up. I'll go here. I'll go there. Just use me, because obviously I'm not in control of my life. And I felt him speak to my heart. I want you to be a life coach. It's like, that sounds fun. I like talking to women. I like encouraging women. Well, what do you want me to talk about? And I felt him say to me, grief. And I was like, no way. I am not doing that. That's hard. I've already overcome that. I've gotten strong. I don't want to go down that path. So a few months go by. My life coaching course is set to start on Tuesday. And it was April 10th, 2022, Master's Sunday. I got a phone call that my mom didn't wake up from her sleep. And I said, okay, God, I can't run from this. I cannot run from this. And so the beautiful part about it is, as I was going through that certification, it was helping heal me in a season that I needed it the most.
Yes.
While I knew I'm preparing to help
Other
people heal as well.
people. And what a gift. We talked about earlier, we have a mutual friend, Rachel Jeffers, whose daughter was meant to be an ESP member. Their family is dear to us, Mabel. And Mabel's life, while it was short, continues to impact so many people. I'm sure you were able to be there for Rachel at that point in her life.
That time, it happened 5 days apart. Same week.
Wild.
So I believe Mabel's date was April 5th, if I'm correct. And sorry, Rachel, if I'm not. But I just remember it was that week Mabel passed. And then my mom passed a few days later. And we were texting with each other. And Rachel said, it was like a Monday morning, I just wish I could give you a big hug. We need a big hug together. Well, my daughter at the time played softball out in Jefferson, and it's a long drive from Beaufort. And so I go to sit at a Mexican restaurant to kill time, and I'm obviously devastated. My mom passed away the day before, and I walk into the restaurant and I hear a voice in the parking lot says, "Paige."
No way.
Wow.
It was Rachel and Maddox and Matt, and we literally just ran to each other and embraced and boohooed our eyes out like fools. And that was exactly what we needed in that moment. So God allowed us to go on this journey together.
No doubt. And I can only imagine that she needed it just as much
It
as
was.
you did. And that
The
exchange
love
was such a gift. Have you learned in your grief journey, and as you've learned the impact of other people walking through it with you that have experienced grief as well?
So much so. I mean, just like anyone in the ESP family, you need the community of people who have been there, who've been in the hospitals, who have been in the therapies, and, been up late at night, with their child. And there's just an understanding that words aren't needed. Words aren't necessary. It's like this energy that's felt in the room where I can sit with someone who is going through a loss, and I know there's nothing that I can say that's going to help them. But me being there and just going, I know, like that is enough.
The act of being present.
Yeah.
Yes, and sharing that. Lily, I know you have a friend group of people that have disabilities, some of them with Down syndrome, and I can imagine the gift that it is to you to be able to have friends that understand what you go through.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Paige, you talk a lot about your faith and God's grace that's freely given to us, and something that Lily and I enjoy talking about as well. How do you use your particular abilities for the kingdom?
You know, even before Mrs. America, I have always felt called, I would say even as a high schooler, called into ministry. I feel energized and revived and filled up when I am pouring into the people, because it's not out of my own power, right? It's through the power of the Holy Spirit. And being able to walk beside somebody. Theoretically, if I can go with you through this season, and I know what you've been through, but also we're going to look at this from a biblical worldview perspective, and we're going to base everything with Christ at the center.
And the truth.
Right.
And the truth. That's so great.
So with SEEABILITY, we talk about flipping narratives. So is there a time that you can recall that you were able to flip the script for a positive outcome?
I can relate to the moment when my dad passed away. And like I had mentioned before, I became the executor of his estate, and that means anything he owned and he could sign his name off on, now it's you.
Yeah.
You're in charge of it. And we inherited, a business that was a thriving business.
Right.
And me not knowing the ins and outs of what that was like. Yes, that was difficult, but there were other aspects of it that made it even more challenging, because I showed up to that business as Jeff's daughter. Hey, everybody, hugging and kissing, and we're all, happy, and calling, half of the employees who have been there for many years before me, aunts or uncles.
Yeah.
Now I'm their boss.
Yeah.
That's different.
Overnight, that dynamic changes, and having to make some of those really difficult decisions with people who my relationship with them was never like that before. So there was a good season, I'd say about 2 years, where I just kept saying, this is hard.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want this. I don't want to be here. My dad should be here. I shouldn't be doing this. So thankfully, I think my husband was the one who really helped me flip the narrative and say, you have to look at this as a blessing.
Yeah.
Your dad didn't leave this business for you to burden you. He left this business for you and your sister to bless you and to bless your children, who are his grandchildren. He wants you to continue this so it can help you thrive in life, not be burdened. And so when I was able to flip that narrative, yes, the challenges were still there, but I didn't see them as something that was incapable of me being able to handle.
Yeah. Is there a time that you underestimated your strength along your journey of becoming Mrs. America?
There were some moments after I would practice my interview sessions, because you can't just go into it blindly. You need to sort of formulate some direction and how you're going to answer and how you want to say it, and to get your message across quickly, and then land the plane.
Yeah.
You only have so much time to get your message across. So I had been practicing with an interview coach, and I would say 3 out of 5 of those sessions, I would close my computer and just burst into tears.
Oh.
Thinking,
Can't do that.
yes, this is so hard, because the challenging part about it, the reason why I was competing for Mrs. America, was to advocate for more grief support and grief education.
Yeah.
So I had to tell my story. And that interview coach kept pulling more and more and more out of me when I was wanting to give cookie cutter answers. Every interview session felt like a therapy session.
Yeah.
And it was so draining. And I just thought, I am not equipped to do this. I'm not equipped. So there were some moments where I had to let it out, take a deep breath, and realize I'm operating out of God's strength, not mine. It's His story to tell. I just have to go out there and get out of the way. And get over myself. And let Him do it. So I underestimated my ability, but thankfully it really wasn't all about using my own abilities. It was relying on God's ability to do that for me.
Yeah. So what does belonging look like in the pageant world?
The pageant world, the right pageant world.
Yeah.
Because, every organization, whether it's sports or school or academics, there could be a good side and there could be a bad side.
Yeah.
So me and my children, we find the systems that we align with,
Yeah.
and the people who align with us, and we all have very similar goals and morals and values, and so those are the pageants that we step into. And so for anyone to belong in those type of pageant systems, you just have to have a heart to serve.
Yeah.
That's what belonging in a pageant system looks like.
Yeah.
Because if a contestant shows up and they're there to win the crown and to be the best, number one, they're not going to win. And number two, they're going to walk away empty-handed because they would not have built relationships.
Yeah.
They would have lost the vision for their purpose and their platform and their why that they're there.
Yeah.
So anyone who has a passion that they love and they want to advocate for and to bring more attention to, then you belong in the pageant system.
Yeah.
So good. It's interesting because I listen to you and I hear so much of probably what you're coaching your girls to do. Like I can imagine you coaching your girls as you're walking in. So as a mom, yes, you're a pageant mom, but you're a different kind of pageant mom than what you watch on TV.
Yeah. I hope so, at least.
What's been your best parenting advice? Maybe some advice that someone has given you that you have now implemented with your daughters.
I think that right now the season that I'm in with my 16-year-old and my 12-year-old is get into their world. Stop trying to force them to live in my world. And what that means is right now their world is so different than the way I grew up.
Yeah.
Access to what they have, technology, phones, social media, the way that they connect with friends is through Snapchatting the ceiling and not losing their streak. And I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. Why do you keep taking a picture of your shoe? What does this mean?
Right.
And so there were moments where I can choose to go, this doesn't make sense. This is pointless.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it this way? Why don't y'all do it this way? Saying words like, well, this is dumb. Like, instead of going there, I can get curious and try to get into their world. Yeah. Oh, what's that like? Show me that video. I mean, I'm not like that 100% of the time. There's some moments where I'm like, I don't want to watch that TikTok video right now. I'm driving.
Right.
Charlotte will get her phone and stick it in my face. Watch this video. But trying to connect with them on their level and not trying to force them to live in a world that doesn't exist anymore. Technology and social media is here. It's not going anywhere. The silly sayings, the brain rot words, 6'7", skibbity toilet. None of that makes sense to any of us.
Nope, it doesn't.
But all right, we're gonna ride along with it, to connect on that level. So when it is time to talk about something more serious, they know that they can trust me with the more serious stuff because I'm interested in the silly stuff as well.
Yeah, so good. I mean, I think so many parents kind of roll their eyes and go, or try to lecture and say, when I was, and it's like, that's the fastest way to turn off kids' ears or eyes.
No, I have done that too.
I have too. I have too.
I'm not cool mom all the time, but
but I do think, I don't know that I hear from you that it's about being cool. It's about connection.
Yes, absolutely.
And connecting with them on their level. And I think that's so beautiful. Ultimately, that's what we all want, is for people to connect with us on our level. And I think that's so beautiful. What things, rhythms have you done to help your family stay connected as you travel, as you lead your 4 businesses, as your girls are in sports and pageants?
Gosh.
What do you guys do to stay connected?
It's tough because we do allow them the privilege to be in, 1 or 2 sports and activities and arts and theater and all that stuff at once. And it can pull us in so many different directions. While I would love to say we always sit down together every single night and have family dinner, logically we can't. We really can't. But I do make sure that there's a few nights a week where we are. My 16-year-old has a car now. She has her license, and she loves to go. And I've had to pull the reins back in a little bit and say, you're at home tonight. We're having family dinner. So during those family dinners, even though they don't happen every single night, we try to make them as quality time as possible. And so when they were younger, we would play the name a high, name a low, and I can't remember what the other one was, or something that
Buffalo?
Something like Sad, Mad, Glad. That's what it was. I don't know what Buffalo is.
High-low buffalo is a thing.
Yeah.
Your girls probably know what it is, so ask them.
I'll ask them. So trying to create conversations, but then as that started to get a little more difficult because their answers would be like, fun. fine, good.
Yeah.
We bring out the cards, the conversation prompts at the dinner table, and some of them can be silly, some of them can be serious. Other than that, we love movie nights if we can all get together and watch a family movie. But I think that the connection for us is always in the kitchen. I feel like when we're in the kitchen, that's where we do life. And, Charlotte is showing me a dance and my husband's trying to mimic her behind her. And it's horrible. And he's trying to be horrible, but we're laughing. Of course, we do family vacations and things like that, but it doesn't always have to be this grand event and let's plan this. It's just making sure, hey, are we connecting every single day in the kitchen? Somewhere.
I love it.
As we're going through the house. This is our center point.
And I love that visual of your husband dancing in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did it just last night.
So we've talked about you and your girls, but I'm curious. You have two beautiful girls who are in pageants and sports and all the things. You are an entrepreneur leading businesses. What is your husband like?
Oh, he bless his heart. We have 2 boy dogs to help out balance all the girls in the house. So my husband, he adores us, and I say that because he tells us that he adores us. We get on his nerves, but he still adores us. So he and his father own a car dealership in Beaufort, Ewing Motor Company. It's a used car dealership. It's been there for a little over 40 years. And so he's a very hard worker. He's very grounded, driven. Everything is black and white. Everything makes sense to him. And I'm like, la da 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 da, like
Living in the gray.
Yeah.
Yes.
or the rainbow. Honestly, it's like life is, cupcakes and sprinkles. Not really, but I'm the dreamer, and he's like, let's pull you back down from cloud 9 and let's be real here. So he keeps us grounded in our family. He's also a lot of fun. He loves to hunt. He's an avid outdoorsman.
Okay.
So any chance he can get away from the car lot, he works 6 days a week, almost 60 hours a week.
Wow.
So we give him that luxury of go be in the woods, not around anybody nagging you about sales or the girls, wanting to show dances and talking about how much the pageant dress was that we just purchased.
Well, he sounds absolutely amazing.
He's a good one. He's a keeper.
He's a keeper. He's a keeper. Well, I've got 2 more questions for you. My last serious question, then we have a fun question, is when people look at you, they might see the crown.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that beautiful crown. It's gorgeous.
It really
and giant.
sparkles nicely.
It really does sparkle.
Yeah.
They may see you're physically beautiful. You have amazing presentation. You have beautiful daughters. And maybe in an Instagram world, they would look at you and see Paige has got it all together, or life is easy for her. And what I keep hearing from you is it was hard. And this was the goodness on the other side of the heart, and you leaned in. So when people look at you, they might be tempted to see that.
Yeah.
But when they look at you, what do you want them to see?
Well, like I said before, I want them to see Christ. I want them to see redemption. I want them to see joy. I want them to see a peace that passes understanding. Because I'm very open on my social media. I don't air out my dirty laundry, but I do share the hard stuff, as much as I feel like is appropriate. And those who know me have watched the journey of the losses and watching me process that and watching my life change. People knew me as the photographer, and now they know me as this. And I am so grateful, honestly, for my community of friends and an online community who they've always supported me. But if anyone looks at anybody on social media and thinks that, then they need to go talk to somebody
Or put it down. Put it down.
Because in a real world, we all know everyone wakes up with a burden on their shoulders, something, a thorn in their side. And we all have had our own struggles. And while mine may look different than yours, each person has their own version of hard. And so you can't compare one person's hard to the other person's hard. And so I don't ever want them to see me as someone who they need to pity or feel sorry for, but to see someone who has been on the rug, been in the fetal position in the bathroom on Christmas morning, feeling like I'm depressed when I know it's grief, living life in the hard because we live in a broken world. But going back to the kintsugi pottery, I also want them to see the gold veins of how God has been there and provided and picked me up off the ground, right? And poured life back into me, that I can have joy, I can laugh even in the middle of grief because of the gold veins of Christ's goodness that has molded me back together.
Yes, so good. And we see that so much here at ESP is
Yeah.
there is so much hard and there is so much beauty in the hard.
Yeah.
And I love that you have just lived the hard out loud. Like you've been willing to put it on social media, talk about grief. Grief is hard this season for a lot of people.
Right.
And so living the heart out loud, I think, is just as important as the gown and the crown is your willingness to lean into the awkwardness of talking about really hard things and
Right.
living the heart out loud, I think is really, really beautiful.
you.
All right. So last question that we ask all of our podcast guests, don't we, Lily?
We do.
What is one thing you've never seen, but you wish you could see in the world?
I would love to see some type of like supernatural, like animal migration or supernatural like phenomenon, wonder in the world, something that has to do with nature
Yeah.
and animals. I could care less about anything man-made. I don't need to go see any building, pyramids, none of that. Like I want to see the world and the way that God created it in the beginning and the way nature transpires, like the great African, migration or the monarch butterfly migration.
Yeah.
And as many times lately here in Georgia, the northern lights have been seen. I haven't seen
Me either.
No.
I'm kind of mad about it.
like where are these pictures come from. So Aurora Borealis, I'd love to be able to see that. Also on the flip side, it still has to do with nature. I would like to safely see from a distance a tornado that doesn't affect anyone's house or well-being, just in an open field, and then I just want to see it go back.
Interesting.
I'm obsessed with tornadoes.
Okay. You and my 8-year-old.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So
be.
yeah, just like a supernatural wonder of the world.
I love that. I love that. Well, Paige, it's been so much fun to learn more about you, to hear your heart and how you're living the heart out loud. I love you and Lily's connection, that you guys know each other
Yeah.
and are friends. Lily, you're the one that got her on the podcast.
Yeah, but
Thank you, thank
This
you.
was so fun.
yeah.
I've known Lily since she was 2 or 3, the little mascot for the cheer team that I coached.
Yeah.
No way. I can't imagine you as a 2 or 3-year-old.
Oh, the most precious thing ever. Everybody loved her. Everyone at Hebron Christian Academy was just a fan of Lily Moore. That's basically it. There was one time where after she was leaving the basketball gym, you did this funny thing, like you pretended to be a pirate, and you had the best like pirate eye, and like "Arr," and you looked up in the stands and you did it, and then you just walked off, and just the whole stands were dying of laughter.
I know that. That's,
And that
I know
was,
you were so little.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
and that was the beginning of your actor career.
I know. We all
Yeah.
think she was going to be a star.
Oh my gosh. Well, she's still the same way. Everyone
believe
still
it.
loves her and cheers for her. Well, thank you, Paige, for joining Lily and I on the SEEABILITY Watchcast, where we envision a world that sees you the way your dog sees you.